everybody, and welcome to Quilt Club for August 2024. This is our last session for this year's Quilt Club, and I can't believe we finally got to that point. I hope you're all enjoying putting your quilt blocks together and creating your final finished quilts. So the block for this month is a nice little block. This is it right here. It has a beautiful pinwheel pattern in the background. When I come closer, you'll see we have a lot of half square triangle units there in the corners here, and then the rest of them are combination half square triangles. So these are very obvious. These ones, the two lights are very close together, so they don't sort of pop in quite the same way, but they are combination half square triangle units. So you can do these following the pattern, or you can use your tucker trimmer, whichever you prefer. In behind me, you can see here is our one block sample in our quilt, and those ones are straight on. And then over my other shoulder over here, this is the one that we set on point. So that one, the little pinwheel pops a little bit more just because of the fabric choices, but you can position your fabrics wherever you like to get that pop or keep it a little bit more subtle. Anyway, so that is the last block for the year. We are going to be continuing with a Quilt Club-esque program in September. We are not going to be continuing Quilt Club in the manner that we've been having it lately. We've been running Quilt Club for a long time, and it's time just to take a little bit of hiatus. So for the following year, we will not be having our traditional Quilt Club. We will be having a gathering at the store once a month. The details will be in your newsletter, so you can see them there. It is an in-store effort, so hopefully some of you will be able to join us, but I know some of you are further away and might not be able to. For those who are further away, I can promise you we're going to be trying to do more interactive videos, demonstration videos, and hopefully perhaps the odd online class. This is a work in progress, so bear with us and we'll see where we get to with that. So just a couple of things I wanted to touch on that are coming up. First of all is our birthday bash. It's our biggest sale of the year. That is going to be held from August 22nd to 24th. For those of you who haven't been to Birthday Bash, it's a ton of fun. When you arrive at the store, you'll be able to pick a little, they're actually little cardboard purses, and inside the purse you'll have a little treat, but also a discount coupon. So you get to find out what your discount is before you start to shop. Our discounts range from 10% off all the way up to 50% off, so you can understand why it's the biggest sale of the year. So it's a lot of fun. You can only choose one coupon a day, but you can come each day to try and get a better coupon than the day before if you want to do that. When you come, make sure you come with a plan for a lower discount and for those high discounts, because if you pull a 40, 45, or 50% discount and you don't have a plan, it's paralytic. It's terrible. So you absolutely want to have an idea of what you might want to shop for if you get one of those really big discounts, because it's not something to be missed. So Birthday Bash, August 22nd to 24th in store. We will be having an online Birthday Bash component on the 25th of August, and details about that will be coming out shortly. We are working on our class schedule for the fall, so lots and lots of new classes. Some old favorites are continuing, but there will be new classes. And we are going to be having an event we're calling Meet the Maker. It's going to be September the 5th from 2 to 4 or from 6 to 8. And at that time, you'll have the opportunity to come in, meet the teachers, and see the samples for all the classes that are going to be coming up in the fall. So I hope you'll be able to join us for that. Just to save the date, our Lake Loop Shop Hop is going to be on October 3rd to 5th this year. So I hope you'll be able to join us for that and enjoy some fall color and take a tour around Lake Simcoe as you visit Quilt Shop. So again, details about that in our newsletter coming up. So this month I've got a bunch of different things to show you, and I'm going to pull in a little bit closer here, and I am going to start with some brand new scissors that we've just got from Karen K. Buckley. These are her new perfect scissors. So they have the micro serrated edging on the, just going to get this out of here, on the edge of the blades. And micro serration is just very, very fine grooves in the edges so that you can grip the fabric. So when you're cutting into the fabric, it actually pulls the fabric into the blade instead of letting it slip out of the blade. So it does a very, very accurate cut and cuts right to the point. Now, these are a nice size of scissor. They are 8.5 inches, so it's not quite as big as a dressmaker shear, but they are big enough that you could use them as a dressmaker shear. So it's great for cutting out those larger pieces of fabric, but it's also great for clipping right to the edge because it does cut right to the tip and it has that micro serration that will hold your fabric in place. So they're lovely scissors. They've got a nice molded handle, great for holding, good for either right or left-handed. They have all the nice features of the Karen K. Buckley scissors. Nice to have that bent handle because it lets you get down and under your fabric more easily. So these guys are $66.99 less your 20%. Now we have also a number of different labels. So I'm going to bring these over closer. We got a whole new set of labels from a company called Sarah Hartz. And Sarah Hartz, that may be her name, I'm not sure. So she has created all sorts of different little labels. They come packaged. There's 8 labels in each of these little packages. And I'm going to show you the different labels. They're very cute. So you can see by holding it in my hand, this is about 1.5 inches by 2 inches. So it says made under moonlight. And isn't that lovely? They're a very soft, high quality fabric. So this is great for sewing in the edge of your binding. If it's on a quilt, you could sew it into a pillowcase, you could sew it in a garment, a bag, anything that you want to personalize when you're giving a gift or having it for yourself. So that's the first one. The next one is a long thin label, and this one is rainbow colors and it reads handmade. The next one is another black and white that's kind of fun. Thanks, I made it. So a sentiment that everybody like to express when they've got a compliment. This one is a fun little rainbow in black and white and called Made by Me. And then next one is Quilting is My Superpower, and that's fun rainbow colors as well. This particular package here, this has little tiny quilt blocks, both sides of the tag, and the tag opens up, but both sides are the same quilt block. But there's a huge number of different blocks in here. They're not all the same. They're, I think, probably all different. So they're a lot of fun. And the last one is a variety of little hearts. And this one says for you, but there's also ones in there that say handmade, as you can see the bit of reflection on there. So lots and lots of different, so that all the packages are different. You can see that we have all the different kinds in a package, and each package contains 8 pieces, 8 different little labels. They are $14.99 for the package of labels, so they're a nice modest price, but it lets you personalize your quilts very easily. So those are tons of fun. And we have some other labels to show you as well. These are a little bit more traditional. So these are panels, label panels. I believe they're from Northcott. No, sorry, they're Moda. Pardon me, you know. So this is a label panel. So there's lots of different sizes and shapes. Some have lines on them, some are plain. I'll just come a little closer. You can see some have the lines on them. And these are great for, actually they all have lines on them. I apologize. These are great for taking a marker. It has to be a permanent marker, so you want an Identipen or a Pigma pen. When you are going to write on a label, make sure you iron it to freezer paper to give a bit of stiffness to the label. If you try and write on a fabric label without something backing it, it'll shift as you're trying to write and it won't be nice and neat the way you want it to be. So you can write on that. You could embroider on it by hand. If you were clever like Christy, one of our embroidery teacher, you could probably embroider on it with it in your hoop. But these are especially great for just handwriting with one of those non-washable permanent markers. So lots and lots of labels on there. So we've got 2 colors of panels. This one is a pure white one, and the other one we have, it's exactly the same, but the fabric is a really nice, soft, creamy color. It's hard to see them differently in the on the screen here, but both great products for labeling your quilts. And you should always label a quilt because everyone wants to know who made it and where it came from. Okay, now I've got some little gizmos here that are really cute. These are sets of items from Gypsy Quilter. So they come in cans like this, but we sell them individually. We do also have them online in sets of 12, I believe, but you can buy them one at a time. So the first one is tulip bobbin clamps. So the tulip clamps look like this, and they look kind of like a tulip flower. So what it is, it's like a clothes peg that opens up. So this is to do exactly what it says. It is to clamp your thread on your bobbin so that it doesn't unravel when it's in your sewing bag or basket or anything. So it just holds it nicely to keep your thread from unraveling. There is also one that is called Peels, which is a spool hugger. And again, we sell those individually. The thread peel looks like this. It's a very flexible piece of silicone that forms a circle, but this can be wrapped around your spool of thread to hold it and stop your thread unraveling again when it's in your basket or your bag or whatever. So this is a small Aurifil spool, but they also can stretch out to go around a big Aurifil spool. So you wouldn't be able to put this around a cone, but it will do the large size or the small size of thread. So that is a great addition as well. So these are called Peels. The last one, these are called Bobbinis, which is a fun name. And the Bobbini looks like this. So it's got a squishable section at the top here that forms kind of a diamond. And at the other end, there is a little stumpy stick. So what you're going to do with this is pop it in the top of your thread spool. The diamond squishes in to fit snugly into the spool, regardless of how wide the opening is. And that leaves your little stick on the top. Then you can get your matching bobbin, and mine don't match, but it doesn't matter. And that will hold your bobbin together with your thread, so you have a nice matched pair in your sewing basket. And then you can put your bobbini around, or your peel around there to hold your thread from unraveling. And you can put your tulip clamp on the top. So you've got it all set. These are wonderful, and I apologize. I cannot remember how much they cost, but they're very, very inexpensive individually. I think they're less than $2 a piece. So you can find that on our website. When you go to look at the products, you'll see it on there. And I'm sorry I didn't have that in my head before we started the video. Okay, now I've got one more thing I want to show you. So this is scalloped placemats. So this is a pattern right here. It is by Poorhouse Quilt Designs, and it's just called Scalloped Placemats. And this pattern, the pattern is $12.99 less your 20%, and it goes together with a set of placemat forms. So these placemats are made out of Bosal Interform, which is a fusible foam batting that you can use to put inside your placemat. But using these forms helps you make the placemat very simply and easily. So I'm going to show you how to do that next. Okay, I'm just going to show you the pattern again. So as you can see, when you make the pattern, you are going to make a placemat that has a framed center section. It has a little flange around the outside of the center that just adds to the framing. And then you've got your outside border, which has this beautiful scalloped edge, which is created using the placemat forms. So I'm going to show you how we create that. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to make this outside border by cutting strips of fabric and then cutting a thinner piece that you use to make your flange, sewing those together, and then creating your mitered corners using the instructions in the pattern. So that's really, really easy to do so that you create a full frame in a rectangular shape that is going to form the outside border of your placemat. When you want to make the front side of your placemat, this is going to be my front, you are going to get a piece of fabric, and I've just got some nice green batik here because it'll show it off really well, and I'm going to lay that out. Then I'm going to get one of my placemat forms. When you buy the placemat forms, you're getting a set of 4 placemat forms. I'm going to lay this out on my front fabric. So this is going to be my focal fabric that shows in the center of my placemat. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a pencil or something, and I'm just making sure I'm in the screen here. I'm going to draw all the way around my scalloped edge. So I draw all the way around, and then I'm going to cut out with scissors that scalloped shape. I'm going to layer the 2 pieces together. This is all cut out now, and I'm going to press it. And that both fusible inner form is fusible, so that those 2 layers will adhere together. So what I get is my focal fabric adhered to my fusible there. You can probably see that. And then I can start to build my completed project. So I'm going to take my backing fabric, which is hidden in here, layer it with my borders, and stitch a 1/4 inch around all the way around the edge. Then I'm going to fuse this side onto the other side of my foam placemat form. Once I've done that, I'm going to stitch from this side, and I'm going to stitch just outside the placemat form all the way around the outside of my front face of my placemat. So I've stitched the 2 back layers together. They're fused to the foam, and the front layer is fused to the foam. Then I'm going to trim the stitched pieces. So I'm going to trim a 1/4 inch outside my scalloped edge the whole way around, and I'm going to take a little snip into each scallop, the bottom of each scallop. On those, I'll put a little dab of a fabric sealant, like fray check or that type of product that's going to stop your fabric from fraying in those little snips. Once I've done that, I've got the edge all trimmed. This backing is fused in place, the front is fused in place, and then I can turn my placemat. So I'm going to start turning along here. I've got the snips taken into the deep corners of the scallops, so that lets me turn it out beautifully. So I'm just going to turn this out as far as I can just to show you this. And so what you end up with when you've turned it, and it's a little pulling a little bit because I haven't turned it the whole way, you can see is you've got a beautifully turned placemat there with my scalloped edge. And then to finish the job, I am going to stitch just inside the flange here in the ditch between the flange and the outer border all the way around, and that's going to hold that border in place perfectly. So I've got wonderful scallop placemats created really, really easily with this particular product, the placemat forms, and this fun pattern. So the placemat forms, for a set of 4 of them, they are $27.99 less your 20%. Okay, thanks again for joining me for Quilt Club for 2023-2024. It's been a fun ride. It's been different doing these videos, and I think it's gone very well. I hope you've all enjoyed it. As always, if you have any questions or concerns, please don't hesitate to get in touch with us. And I hope some of you will be able to join our new program starting in September for our Quilt Club variation. So watch the newsletter for details of that. Thanks, everybody, and hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.